So what we have, what's that?
Just going back to systems.
Yeah, it's how they tie back to it. So we do systems. We're going back to more systems. We like systems. We keep doing systems of equations. Like solving for x and y, systems of equations. Yeah. Okay. So matrices that are reduced have these rules. One, they have all 0 rows at the bottom. So 0 rows means rows full of zeros. So any row full of zeros must be at the bottom of the matrix. So going one at a time so you kind of have a visual of what it looks like for that to not be true. If you look at A through F underneath example 1, one of those has a row full of zeros that is not at the bottom. Which one of them is it? E. So this would be considered not a reduced matrix because of that. That would have to be on the bottom row for it to be considered reduced. F, in contrast, is reduced because all of the 0 rows are at the bottom and the other rules. But, okay, D is fine because everything is zeros. And so technically, yes, the 0 rows are all at the bottom because if there's multiples, you could have them all at the bottom with numbers above it. That one, there's no actual numbers. So you don't have to be worried about it, and this one is considered reduced. So that's how the 0 rows look. If there were numbers in D, they would have to be above the 0 rows. Okay? The next rule here says for each non-zero row, in other words, there's numbers in it, the leading entry is 1. So as you go left to right, the first number other than 0 you come to is a 1. So what that looks like when it's not true is A. So this is not considered reduced, and it's because of this bottom row. If I'm tracking left to right, it starts with a 0, which is fine, but the first number I come to is a 3, which is not a 1. So that would not be considered reduced. Then the last one sounds kind of confusing, but the leading entry in each row is to the right of the leading entry in any row above it. In other words, it can't look like C. So in that one, the top row has a number more to the right of the bottom row. Like these two rows would have to switch places for it to be reduced. So what that means is if you have numbers, they have to go diagonally down to the right. So this one, it would be okay if it was looking like this, but it is not okay where that 1 in the top row here is behind this 1 in the bottom row, okay? So what it looks like to be okay is B. So, or E, yep. The numbers, the diagonals, the ones go off to the right where each one is kind of set off. Think of it like you know, kind of when you like tab in on something on your Microsoft Word, like each one kind of goes in one from the next. Probably a bad explanation, but same thing as F. If you go down this one, the first leading entry, the first number kind of goes off to the right there. There's nothing to the left on any of the bottom rows. So for that, you just need to be able to say, is it reduced, yes or no? I don't really need you to tell me why not, but I explain the rules using that. You can also reduce in your calculator. So if something was in your calculator and you needed to know if it was reduced, you could just enter this matrix in and use our reducing thing, which we're about to do in example 2. So if I'm given a matrix in example 2 here, and it is not reduced, obviously, because it has numbers in the front and there's zeros up at the top and all sorts of fun things, we are going to reduce the following matrix in our calculator. There's a difference between solving. When we were solving systems, anyone remember what we used in our calculators to do that? It's the 2 R's, R-E-F, right? We're just using 1 now, yes. So if you are asked to reduce the matrix, you are just going to use the REF command and plug in your matrix. Nice and easy for us. So when we reduce this one, it goes to this for me. And this one does fit all of the rules of reduced matrices. The leading entry in each row is a 1, and the ones are not stacked on top of each other. They go off to the right. It doesn't have to be exactly in a diagonal. Like you notice this one is further over to the right, but that's okay. As long as it's further to the right than directly underneath it, it's still headed off diagonally, okay? So we're just reducing those, but the main point of that then is to be able to solve these, which you don't necessarily want to do by hand, so we use our calculators for it. So on the back, going back over systems and how to solve using our calculators. Okay. Now, we will not be doing example 4. And I think I have a typo in here, actually. It should be we'll make that a negative x. We'll see what it comes out to. It might not be super nice, but we'll make it a negative x there. First thing, one of the biggest things I saw in our last chapter test for us using our calculators on this is that we did not remember that it had to be set up a certain way before we typed it in our calculator. Anyone remember what that was? Yep, so we have to have the x's lined up, the y's lined up, the z's lined up. Where do the numbers have to be? On the right. So if you have to do a little work on your page before you type it in your calculator, please do. That means this first equation would be x plus 2y plus 4z would be equal to, I move the 6 to the other side. Also, if you're missing a variable, what goes in place of that? A 0. It's not a 1, right? Didn't happen on this one. But that second equation, I also have to rearrange it. Where does the y have to go? In the second spot. So the y's got to come in here, and then the 2z, and then I move the 3 to the other side. And then x plus y plus 2z is equal to 1. It does come out nice? That's nice when I just add one thing there. Every now and then I make it horrible. And then remember, we make this a 3x4 matrix. We put all the x numbers in the first row, or column, excuse me. All the y's in the second column, z's in the third column, numbers in the fourth column. And which command do we use for this one? Our REF of matrix A. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my calculator. All right, so the change we need to make on this one is that this y is a 2y right here in the second one, and then it will work out nicely. Sorry about that. We have 0, 1, 0, negative 6, and 0, 0, 1. Was that 5.5? All right, so what does this mean for us then? What did we just get? So this is my x, that equals negative 4. This is my y, it equals negative 6. This is my z, it equals 5.5. Okay. Any questions about that? I told you we were kind of short today, really short. I don't really need you to do that too many times. So we're going to take a look at our homework real quick and make sure we have anything edited out that we don't want.